Hello and welcome to a special episode today. So this was something that I did for the Pokemon Games Elite Four round back in October. I think I spent like almost 3 weeks of streaming attempts getting Deathless in all 3 of the Donkey Kong Country games on Super Nintendo. We're gonna start off by watching Donkey Kong Country 3 because, unfortunately, Donkey Kong Country 3 doesn't get exciting until like World 5. So, well, we're gonna let it have the big screen here for a little bit at least. It should be okay. You can watch whichever one you want, but I enjoy bouncing on the water in DKC3, and after World 2, you can't do that anymore, so it's not an option. Getting this set up was actually kind of difficult, because I highlighted the stream. Oh, I didn't even bounce on the water on the run I did it in? That's so sad. Hopefully I do it in World 3, or Stage 3. But, yeah, no, DKC 1 took like 5 or 6 days to do. DKC 3 is similarly the same amount of time, like 5 or 6 days. And then DKC 2 took like a little over a week. DKC 2 was the hardest one of the 3. DKC 3, like, I was surprised with how well it went. Because what happens with DKC 3 is, like, the first world doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in any of these games. But, especially in DKC 3, it's just about getting to the boss, as it is with any of these. 1 and 2 will get to the first boss in about 5 minutes. DKC 3 takes 7 days. I think it was about 7 minutes to finish the first boss, so. But 1 and 2 have water levels in their first world, whereas 3 doesn't, so we're watching ourselves go through a mill. Good ol' hold the switches. DKC3 also has a lot of slow levels. Like, a lot of them. This is one of them. It was fun though. DKC2 had the most random deaths in attempts. Like, you just died in World 3. Sometimes World 2 didn't even work out as you would hope. The number of times I died to the sword boss because the hooks weren't fully spawned in, so I got hit and I don't know how to fight as... No, I didn't roll on the water here either. What was I doing? This is so sad. I just flew across the water. For the longest time, I would bounce on the water because that's like one of the few things Kitty can do that's interesting, but like it's semi-precise on when you hit the bounce button, so I think I eventually figured out that, especially in this stage where the water current is going backwards, just flying over it is better for me. Oh, I didn't even switch to Kitty here. Didn't make that jump, but it's not that important. To do this, we weren't allowed to do warps, and we had to do it in under an hour and a half for each game. The only one where that was kind of scary in was DKC 3, because the end game is kind of crazy in DKC 3. I will talk bad about the first 4 worlds in DKC 3 about how boring they are, but the end game, the 7th world, kind of crazy. And with DKC 3, they also balanced out the number of stages per world too. So all of them have, I believe, 5 stages before the boss. So like DKC 2 has a 7th world, but it has 1 stage before the boss, so it doesn't really count. And then 1 just does whatever it wants, world count or stage count wise. Looks like the 1 and 2 are both going against the boss as we speak. And we're actually going to switch right now to DKC2. This bird boss, I believe there are better ways to fight it, but I just waited for it to drop something. It's RNG on whether or not it falls. Like whether the egg that falls from the nest in the second or the third and fourth hits, I think it is, whether they land to a point where you can use them as a weapon. Yeah, you just sit there. So the times on the first boss were always kind of random because you never knew if you were going to get them. DKC3 is going through a slow Ellie stage where if it sees a rat, it has to run away. The number of times I would get hit on that stage is kind of crazy, but I would never die. So that was cool. But yeah, back to the focus of 2. This lava stage was fine. The big issue with World 2 and DKC2 is the 4th stage. Is it the 4th stage? I think it's the 4th stage. It might be yeah, it's the 4th stage. You ride on a hot air balloon, and it's so slow. It is, you can't speed it up really, and you're just chilling there for, I think, about 2 minutes. And every time you just got a random death in World 3, World 4, World 5. You just had to do that stage again, and it was such a drag. Because I would do like, roughly every night I'd do 2 to 3 hours of attempts. Oh look, DKC1's on our first auto-scroller. Learning that minecart stage is really something. But we did that for the speed run in like the first part. This is the 4th round for the Pokemon game, so Elite Four. So the other option was to do Mario Party 3 on super hard mode with no resets as Donkey Kong. I will be playing Mario Party 3 at some point on hard mode, and then probably at some point super hard mode. If it were on the Switch at the time, I maybe would have considered attempting it, but I'm not super familiar with it, and I'd want to use an N64 controller for it, so it was a hard sell for me. But yeah, these first stages aren't super interesting. Oh look, we damage boost. Let's go. I have died there in DK. I died in most stages in Donkey Kong Country 2. I was on this game for so long. This stage, I don't know if I did die on. This one's a water stage, but it's actually kind of okay. You gotta hit the little seal so it'll cool the water down for you so you could swim through it. There's a few shortcuts and stuff in it. I think I get hit by that stingray occasionally. I never knew if taking the shortcut there is correct. You can hold left and go in. I don't think getting this invincibility barrel is correct, but I always did it just because safety says it was correct. It's like, oh, I can just swim and not care about anything. Yeah, that seems like the right thing to do for me. There's a fish down and to the right here, but we never grab it because you don't get to be on it for too long, and you have to jump off of it anyway to hit the seal, so it's kind of useless. Right there, if you swim up too fast, there's a piranha that can spawn in an awkward space, and that's weird. The rolling also isn't as good feeling as DKC1. Like, the DKC1 rolls go on forever if you hold down the button. These ones you have to work for. But this is the end of this water stage, and like I said, after this is the stupid hot air balloon stage, and we're not watching that. You can watch it if you want. Hey, look, I just did the bouncing on the water on the DKC3. Now I'm bouncing on... Oh, we're gonna do it again. We're gonna do it again. Yeah, there you go. So we're watching DKC1 because it ends about 20 minutes before the other two. DKC1, despite doing the speed run, apparently I was a little more cautious than doing the speed run. Plus, we didn't get to use a couple of the shortcut bonuses. I don't remember if I actually used them or not, but I was a little more careful, and the run ended around a little after the 1 hour mark. So, but you can die, so I had to be careful. Look at that roll, though. That roll back there where we just killed all those blue guys. Beautiful. The rolling feels so good in DKC1. Adjusting to the rolls after going from 1 to 2 was actually kind of a challenge. Boop. We're grabbing the frog. This is probably what added the extra minute. Grabbing this frog specifically. Look how much effort I'm going through so much effort to try to keep this frog. Only because every time I do this stage, I would get hit by that stupid vulture throwing his nuts right there. Because after this, I just don't know what to do with the frog. Like, I don't know how to get the frog up here, and I still get hit. But since I get hit there, I can't get hit by the vulture throwing nuts. So the frog was like a necessary safety. Down in the bottom right in Donkey Kong Country 3, this is a stage where you had to kill all the rats. If you played on Japanese 1.0, we were allowed to use a glitch. There was a allowed glitch that let you like walk. Wow, this is taking forever over there. I was so bad at killing that rat. Bosses aren't interesting. Oh, look, the vulture's dead. But there was a glitch where you get hit by the rat right at the beginning, and you just walk through the door, and you didn't have to play the entire stage. I think it saved like 2 minutes, and a bunch of people did it. I did not, because I played on NSO. But back to DKC1. As the hot air balloon level still goes on. It never ends. Wait, no, it did end. I like World 3 in DKC1. I definitely died here a few times, but for the most part, it's pretty safe compared to Worlds 4 and 5. World 4 is the hardest. World 5 is probably next up there. And then World 6 isn't too bad. World 6 is where you die because of your nerves and not because the game is difficult for the most part. There's a couple tricky parts, but for the stages themselves aren't too bad. That said, these bees go up and down sometimes would get me. I don't know why. That one wouldn't. I think I maybe got hit by that bee once. These bees, getting the timing here is more time wasted than one. I'm starting to see why I got over an hour and not under an hour. Going back and watching this. All right. Just roll and go. Nothing interesting is happening in DKC3. In fact, in the next world in DKC3, there are 2 auto-scrollers back to back. That is how boring the first set of stages in DKC3 is. Oh no! The number of times Diddy got hit holding a barrel right there is too many to count. Wow. Yeah, jumping over that barrel is quicker, I think. And possibly safer. Every now and then I think I did die to like a misshot barrel on this stage. Oh, keep going, little guy. I think we jump over this too. Yeah, we do. We're not timing anything. We're just firing away. Every now and then that vulture was like in the wrong spot too when I misshot. That said, I don't think I Maybe I died once in Forest Frenzy. It's a pretty simple stage. And your chances to die are pretty low because there are DK barrels everywhere. DKC3 in another slow stage. Using the barrels in the water, which cause so much lag. DKC3 has incredible amounts of lag that I will not be showing off in the big screen for the most part, I don't think. Usually they include water and barrels in said water. While DKC1 is... I guess this is kind of an auto-scroller, isn't it? But I figure we probably should focus on this because 1, DKC1 is shorter, and 2, the other games aren't really going through anything too exciting right now. DKC2 is about to make it to a underwater dark stage. And I guess DKC3 is doing a boss, but after this boss it becomes incredibly boring. And I don't think I found a good spot to like switch cameras, so we're just getting attacked by vultures on a rope. Now, if we were allowed to do warps, I might have taken a bonus back there just for safety because it takes you to the edge, but I don't think we were intentionally allowed to be taking bonuses, so... Well, like, we don't get the ostrich in this stage. But this stage is really fun for rolling. Like, you just roll through these beavers, and they go down real fast. Whee! You get so much speed, too. It just feels very comfortable. Whee! Spinning. Do I get hit here? I died on this stage like once or twice, too. So it's not completely free, but it's not too difficult. It's easy to get hit like right here if your roll gets hit. You lose out on your roll at just the wrong time. Yeah, there's the dark stages, DKC2. Bottom right corner is about to go into a semi-interesting stage, but little owls with bazookas fire fireballs at you. It's fun dodging, but it's not the most exciting. And like I said, it's followed by 2 auto-scrollers, so... Well, we're watching the espresso stage. Because I like ostrich in DKC. Loved it when I was a kid, too. Ooh, I actually got the roll on those jumping guys. Nice. I didn't do that often. But with the ostrich, we just fly above the stage like most of the time. So we're rarely in any danger, though. There's a wall right there that stops us from going too high. Oh, we're gonna keep it? We're gonna keep it. Okay. I don't remember how I did. I think we just sacrifice it here. No, we don't. We get it to the end. Let's go. Usually I would lose the ostrich by that point. And we're on to 2. That's fine. I don't think we're watching 2 for very long on this big screen, but we do have an interesting stage. This is the second of 3 swamp stages that we get to do. This one's gimmick are these cat tails that we have to climb on. Boing. And then we jump on the dragonflies. That guy would hit me so many times. It doesn't matter because the DK barrel's like right there, but the number of times I would be hit by that specific jumper before I taught myself not to get hit by it was astounding. I guess we could take this time to talk about how my PBs progressed. Because for DKC 1, like I said, the big stages were in 4 and 5. There was one or two where I got to stage 6 and like nerves got me, and I would die on the stupid auto scroller. There's a stage where you have to push a tire onto a vehicle you're riding, and I failed to do that maybe twice. I know at least once, and that was my PB. And then after that, and that was the first stage of World 6, so. But, sorry, Ratley. Rattle Battle's a fun stage. If you want to pay attention to the DKC2 stage, you can. We just switched to DKC1 because we're about to get to the hardest stages in this game, so we'll focus on it for a little bit and then ignore it once Croctopus Chase shows up, but that's fine. There, the boss B is gone. Usually I didn't get hit in that boss, so that was actually kind of scary for that run. The fact that I was damaged is scary. This stage is probably the second hardest in the game because we were allowed to use the shortcut barrels. We weren't allowed to use warps, but we were allowed to use the shortcut barrels, thankfully, which kind of skipped the hard part of the stage. You still had to get to them, which is timing the barrels, and this is, I want to say, the hardest barrel stage in the game. But bounce, bounce, bounce on the clap traps. Like, there we go. I think we're about to reach the halfway barrel, midpoint barrel. Like once we shoot through here. Nope, not quite yet. I think it's another set of barrels, yeah. I knew it was automatic barrels that shot you here. There we go. And then the snow gets hard. And we're just jumping here. Killing all the birds, making sure we don't get hit. Alright, so we go upright, and every now and then you miss the shot and just fall into the death. But, same with here. Sometimes you get to hit that barrel on the going up and to the right, and sometimes you land in the barrel right above it. And I don't quite understand why that happened, but it did. Doesn't matter because we got through. But I did die trying to get into that barrel every now and then. But it's still so much better than having to go through the actual stages, or the actual stage as it was intended. The stage technically has a warp in it, which is strange for a DKC1 stage, but it's true. You can skip like half the stage or something like that. Alright. But the ropes are fine. I think they're a good mechanic. I used DK despite being the slower monkey because I was terrified of getting hit by armadillos or jumping on an armadillo as Diddy, and oh, we lost DK though. It's okay because the armadillos are I like that indecision I had. It's like, do I hit the midpoint? There's zero reason to hit the midpoint because one death means we're done anyway. But I was like, I missed it. Do I go back? DKC2 right now up in the top right corner is going through slime. No, not slime climb. Toxic tower? No. Maybe it is slime climb. I don't know. It was a stage I heard other people had issues with. It is the one stage past World 3 where I don't think I died, which I find is hilarious. It's like, especially since it's a stage I should have died in. I don't know how I avoided so many deaths in that stage. But at the end of the rope level, we're just jumping up and getting out onto the hardest stage in the game. For DKC1 anyway. Oh wow, I just noticed that 1 and 3 are both at 19 lives. Let's go. But so at the beginning of the stage, we're taking Espresso, and if we can get Espresso to the end, this stage is not bad. If we lose Espresso at any point from an enemy, this stage is awful. So what we're going to do is we're going to fly over here, then we're going to jump off Espresso and fail completely. Usually I would want DK in the lead there so I could just like hand slam into that bird, but for some reason I had Diddy up front and I tried to grab the barrel and failed. So there, we got to the halfway through the stage. We still have the bird. We made it through that gap. The bird's hitbox is very weird and I never know where it is with the stupid clap traps. Whoop, we gotta be careful. Don't lose it now. Because I think we're good at this point. Yeah, we're fine. And that is the end of the hardest stage. Now we're gonna switch over to the stage with the good music, and somehow I just got hit. I essentially memorized these barrel patterns. I played this stage so many times. I think I died in it once, maybe twice. Luckily we have Dixie here, so we can just fly to the left, which is safe. We're jumping over these to like skip that entire barrel section. For this barrel section, we needed to get like just to the right of where we came in at, but we have to go around the entire stage to do so, which is funny and miserable to remember how to do. You're essentially following the banana path, but if you mess up and the banana path disappears, it's unfortunate. I missed that dragonfly once. It was awful. Alright. Now we get to battle this boss. I wanted to say this boss didn't give me much trouble, but actually, at the beginning it didn't give me trouble, and then at some point he started being a problem for me, and I don't know why. Like, getting the timing on him got difficult. Also to note, apparently, using Dixie is big time save. So, good times. When Dixie beats a boss, her guitar is apparently like 4 seconds faster than Diddy's boombox. So usually you want to beat the boss as Dixie. I don't think I cared that much about it because the time wasn't too much of a concern for me. I knew it was going to be in like the 120s range, but I didn't think it was going to be close to 130 to where I needed to worry about a few seconds. See, right there. I don't know how I got hit or how I got into a position where I got hit. Because I shouldn't, but I did. But as you can see, all 3 games are going to be finished with World 3 around the 30-minute mark, which is kind of nice. I mean, BKC 1 is halfway done with World 4, over halfway done with World 4 at this point. World 4 has 6 stages now. I just noticed that. And one of them is this. Ugh, that's bad. Croctopus Chase is a very boring stage, by the way. I'm sorry for anyone who's paying attention to it that it just ended. DKC3 is also in this boss fight right now. It's not an exciting boss. Alright, DKC2 is on to the honeycomb stage. I think I died here once. No, I died on this. I think I did die here once. Maybe twice. I may have fallen in a hole towards the top and lost Squitter. We're almost to Squitter. Squitter is not like the fastest way to do this stage, but it was definitely the safest. So Squitter should be right up here. Once we're past these porcupines, we go to the hooks up top. Get our spider friend and ride around on it to kill all of the enemies in the beehive that may or may not threaten us. but I definitely did die from like a squitter jump at some point on the stage. I think I died once when I wasn't using squitter too. I don't know. I'm surprised that DKC2 has so few lives compared to the other games. But squitter webs are... they have the potential to fail you, and that's unfortunate. It's a dangerous game to play. We're just waiting to shoot webs. But after this stage, there are 2 roller coaster stages coming up, which are essentially minecart stages. But it's fine. We're gonna skip them though. There goes the squitter, and there's the end of the stage. I think if we would have landed on it from the wall, it might have given us a song. Luckily, we only got like 1 or 2 songs in the entire run, so it's okay. We're about to get to a boss in DKC 1. Because the end of the stage should be like almost right here. This is the scary part of this world. Like, staying on these tires isn't the easiest thing in the... And this right here, you probably lose a guy. Yeah, even damage boost through. Like, if you still have the barrel, it's not too bad. But... alright, on to the naughty. Really naughty. Really naughty. DKC3 is over in a water stage. It's going to see a lot of those. It has 2 waterfall stages, 2 water stages, and above water stage. So they stayed on theme for that world. So we're just going to beat up this beaver again. It was very easy to just walk under him. Also, I believe DK's victory animation in 1 was faster, so that's why we switched to him at the end of the fight. Good times. So this world is also kind of challenging. It has a couple challenging worlds, or stages in it. This one is not really one of them. I think I died in this stage once or twice, but it shouldn't be one of the harder stages. I think I got caught off guard by a Manky Kong because it had been about a month since the speedrunning of this game, so I lost to a Manky. Felt bad. Stupid orangutans. But yeah, the hitboxes on the fire are also weird, but I don't think that comes into play here. There's a rhino somewhere in the stage. I don't remember where, but he is in the stage somewhere. Alright, doo-doo-doo. Lots of random monkeys. Those guys definitely killed me once. I think I fell off the oil drums at some point too, probably. But it wasn't a difficult stage compared to other ones. Right before I finally completed DKC 1, the run right before it was in the minecart stage right after this, so good times. Like, that was my... So I died in 5-2. Oh, yeah, see? I take damage there, but there's no more enemies in the stage, so it doesn't matter. And we're gonna go watch DKC2, because it's in the vines, and I like bramble stages. We're about halfway done with this one. So I always went this way. I took the squitter and just used it to quickly climb up. I was told it probably wasn't faster, but it was 100% safer, because you're never dying over here. If you had one Kong, maybe it was a little dangerous, but on the other way, you had to dodge a bunch of cannonballs while you were climbing ropes, which I was like, no thanks. But this stage actually was kind of challenging. I definitely died in this section once. Those bees are hard to dodge. Squawks is not an easy to control thing. I think if I would have just like, I think if you don't put inputs in, he doesn't run you into the spikes from the bottom. And I never really took advantage of that. I'm not sure how much it would have helped, but like if I just didn't have any up inputs, I think it would have been fine here. These guys were always scary. Like they'd take a Kong regularly from me, which makes this last section kind of bad. Oh, yeah, see? I didn't even need to hit that guy. That's the worst part. But welcome. DKC2 is back on an auto-scroller, so since DKC1 is also on an auto-scroller, we'll watch this one. It's a little more exciting. Enemies are coming at us while we're on this thing. That guy never drops, though. Never drops. Alright. Boop. Claptrap almost killed us. We gotta jump over the claptraps. There's another Manky Kong. Oh, there's a Crusher. If you stand on the left, it doesn't matter. It just falls off. DK is cheering. I think there's one enemy left. Yep, there's a Manky Kong. Just in case you let your guard down and you only have one Kong, you could lose them there. Alright. This is the probably third or fourth hardest stage in the game. Stupid snakes. The snakes in these small tunnels will occasionally get you if you're not fast. We're gonna jump on that little Necky's head and get our buddy back. And actually, I think I purposely lead Diddy here because in the second half of the level, there's a bunch of clumps which Diddy has to roll into, and I don't really want to roll into them. So we want DK safe is essentially what we're working on. But these bee patterns are annoying. The snakes in the tunnels are annoying. Oh, the fact that I didn't get hit by these bees is kind of a miracle. But I got hit by that snake. Almost get hit by that one too. And then we just have to get past this Necky, and I think there's a DK barrel for us. Nope, midpoint barrel. I want to say there's still a DK barrel somewhere. But if you mess up the timing on these elevators, you just die. Which is terrifying. Hello, clumps. Bonk. Alright. Just gotta get across those. There's our DK barrel. It took forever. And there's Necky, jumping over the Necky nuts. And these Neckies are really scary. When they're moving that fast and your nerves are on, and it's just like getting this elevator jump can be terrifying. I was terrified for myself there, even though I knew I made it. Getting past this guy. Yeah, well, I didn't even believe I made it past that guy. Alright, we're back to DKC3, finally. Here's the boss of World 4. And actually, it just started, so it's fun. You have to go around once, and then you can shoot its two eyes with water as the elephant. Cool. We're gonna reload. Now we go around twice. This boss is not very scary, by the way. All the bosses after it are kind of scary. K. Rool's a joke, but I think the clam and the snowman are more terrifying than most bosses in this game. And then you go around 2 times fast, though. Very easy. It might push you off the edge. That is what it is trying to do, and it's not very good at it, so we're able to quickly take that thing out, and we get our ski. So now we have to walk back to Funky Kong and get our ski craft. We'll find out what its name is here in a second, because I'm not 100% sure. The funniest thing about this DKC3 run is I sat down and I'm like, I have time for 1 run before I'm gonna eat dinner. So I fire it up, and then I die on the 3rd stage. Not the 3rd world, the 3rd stage. I'm like, okay, well, luckily I can do another attempt, and this was the attempt. I was shocked as I run into all these boulders. Alright, so this is World 5 for DKC3, and this is my favorite stage in the game. Not the hardest stage, my favorite stage. Because it's these horizontal ropes that are super fun to run across because they're fast. And you do a lot of aerobatics on them. Like you're just jumping up the entire time. It's a very fast moving stage, lots of dodging, and it's just fun to do. Lots of quick inputs, but if you fail, you're not really that punished for it. The music is also really good. Hopefully I put in music for this stage. Weep. But you gotta dodge the stupid TNT barrels. And you're just always in motion. Gotta go fast. Just gotta trick the TNT barrels into going into one side while you go in the other. We're just climbing. And I think we're almost at the end already. They put the bees there so you can't jump. And then this is just the end. We just drop down and we're good. Lovely stage. And then it's an auto-scroller, so we're switching to DKC2. But it's also in a boss battle with its World 4 boss. So those two are actually keeping up pretty well. Like I said, the big difference is World 7 is an actual world in DKC3, whereas they just put more stages in Worlds 5 and 6 in DKC2. This bee boss is kind of scary. Not the scariest in the game, that's the next one. But this bee can catch you off guard. Because now he's going to shrink into little guys. This phase is pretty easy though. We just got to shoot all the little bees and then we shoot him. Nope, nope. And the fact that we already got hit means we can't get hit again. And we're aiming so poorly. Alright, we got him. Yeah, DKC2 was like incrementally improving, and you still got killed by random BS. It's an incredible game. It's like, oh, I just died to some random thing that I messed up on. Joy. DKC2 is a very hard game. I like Ghost Rope level though. Ghost Rope level is cool. Boom. Watching the Ghost Ropes. But like I said, it is challenging. If you mess up, you die. Oh, DKC3 is on the lag level. Lovely. The Super Nintendo did not like the idea of barrels going down waterfalls. But yeah, these Especially when you get to ropes that appear and disappear very quickly. Like, you could just die. And a porcupine getting thrown by an enemy. It's all about the timing. Like, if you lose Dixie and her ability to just fly, this stage a lot of stages, but this stage in particular becomes so much scarier if you're trying to go deathless. Because not only do you have to worry about the enemies hitting you, but you have to worry about the environmental hazards killing you. But with Dixie, you can, like, course correct with her hair. TNTs need to go away. Like this one, you just can't go too late or you die. So, had to be very careful. Very careful. Now you just jump to the end. Yeah, with Dixie you can skip a rope. I don't know why it took so long to jump on that target. Good times. Now we have an auto-scroller that we're going to watch a little bit of because it's awful. It's a special kind of awful. So, what happens here is we go through a gate at some point, and we have to collect barrels, or we have to dodge barrels to either add time or lose time. So we want to get these barrels so they add time to our escape. Then we're free. But the real trick is not jumping right here. If you jump right there, you get into a bonus. And if you panic and jump again, you get into another bonus. And it's miserable. So we're going to switch to DKC3, and we're going to do the squitter level. Because for some reason, DKC2 and DKC3 both decided we needed a squitter level. Oh, squitter level. That said, this is actually a really fun level. You just keep going the entire time. You fall in lava sometimes. There was a DK barrel here I'm going to go back to. But you just got to keep moving because there's a target on you at all times. And eventually it will lock on and fire. And you don't want it to fire at you. So you just got to keep going. Kill things. Make webs. Do spidery things. That's what you do. It's a cute level design. So much better than Web Woods. Web Woods is so long and slow. It's like, oh, here's gaps. Jump across these large gaps with your webs. This one's like, hey, dodge these lava pools. It's not that. So if you fall in the lava pool, you only take damage. You don't die. Web Woods says you die. You mistake, you die. DKC3 is far more forgiving. I think there was probably a life balloon down below those red buzzers back there. But we're gonna just keep climbing. Do the squitter things that squitters do. DKC2, interestingly, is on Gusty, the wind stage, which the wind will either blow you forward or backwards. And if you don't memorize where it goes where, you're probably dead. But you do get to skip like the entire last 10% of the stage with Dixie, so that's cool. As we squitter around. Meanwhile, DKC1's collecting fuel slowly. Oop. Alright. Squitter's done. We are going on to... Oh no, we're gonna watch the Lemguin level. Let's go! I thought I switched. I did not switch. Lemguins are adorable, so we're watching them. Boop. Sliders, but mostly Lemguins. We just get to bounce on them, enjoy the ice physics, pray we don't get hit by them, and be happy. While DKC3 may have some BS levels at the end, they also have these cute levels like the Lemquins. I'm sure they cause lag or something, but I think they're adorable. We're just gonna pretend to be a Lemguin. We killed one and we replaced it with ourselves. They never would know. Bling, bling, bling. Yeah, we're sending Dixie back in front. That's correct. Dixie is just a safer character to play as. The hair correction does so much for trying not to die. Unless you just skip platforming that could kill you if you tried to do them. So, oh, fast Lemguin hill. Luckily, we got the timing and jumps, and now we get to go to the boss, which is hilarious because this was my PB before this run, was this boss. And after I lost to it, I'm like, okay, well, we're just gonna spend 5 to 10 minutes figuring out what I had to do for him, because I was just having a hard time. Not with these phases, but with the phases where he's running around. The cannonball phases or whatever. Like, oh, you learn the pattern and you're fine. Like, you'll see in a second how I figured out, or what I figured out I had to do, which is pause buffer. I'm like, okay, we're gonna pause buffer here, figure out where he's coming up. Okay, and luckily he came up right where I was, and I missed. Why didn't I pause buffer after that? Oh well. I don't know why I didn't pause buffer the second and third times, but it doesn't matter. We did it. We were fine. Alright, and he's gone. But that boss gave me so much trouble, and after this, like, all of these are first time seeing the levels Deathless. But we're going to go back to DKC 1 because it's about to end. We're not going to have many chances to come back here. We're just in a Misty Mine level. It's a pretty standard level. Honestly, it could have been in like the first couple worlds and no one would have noticed. It's not that hard. The real trick is that all of the Kong letters in this stage are in a bonus with the ostrich. So I guess that's really weird, but it also makes sense why it works that way, because I guess you're supposed to be confused about where you are in the stage. So without the Kong letters to tell you how far you are in, I guess that's kind of a cool concept, and it works for the theming. It's just shooting out enemies. So maybe this couldn't be in World 2, but World 3 I think this could pass in. World 4 even, or 5. I mean, it doesn't really work in the snow world because it's not very snowy, but World 5 that could have been fine in. And then we have a Loopy Lights, while the other two are in animal worlds. But we just hit the lights, make sure we can see. The clap traps in the stage jump with us. They were the original skip squeaks, which is terrifying because you never know when the hitbox is going to say, no, you die. Because it will. You don't have that choice. But otherwise, it's a relatively simple level. The claptraps are what make it scary, like that. And now I'm blind too. I'm like, okay, well, hopefully we'll find where it is. I didn't want to go back. I didn't want to start over again. All right. We bounce, bounce, Jump on the gators. That one jumped out because of the jump button. Funny times. Do I get hit here? I do not. Getting hit there is not like out of the world of question. Like that. The vulture throwing nuts is never a safe thing for me. I'm so bad with them. Alright. I think we're almost to the end here. Alright, so this part is actually pretty easy in the dark even because of how bright the bee eyes are. You just gotta dodge them. Oh, I'm afraid. I'm afraid. You can taste the fear. I'm like, oh god, I'm so close. I didn't know what to do. Oh, I found a hidden barrel. Or hidden banana bunch. Alright. On to the platform barrels. This is a scary world. It's not super difficult, especially if you just lead with Donkey. Like, leading with Donkey helps with a lot of the problems of the stage. The crushes here are super crushes, which sounds dumb, but that just means that they are crushes that you cannot kill with DK. You have to kill them with a barrel. However, just because I do not trust the armadillos, being DK is so nice for this stage. And the clumps too. There are occasionally clumps that need to be smashed by the DK. Uh-oh. And we lost the DK. Oh no. I must have been so terrified at this point. Oh no. And the barrel broke instead of rolling. Oh, that hurts so much. We got to the midpoint. Not that it matters, but that means we get our DK back. Oh. But we're gonna switch to this boss because this boss is the hardest one. This is one of the harder bosses in the entire series. You gotta hit the colored neckies so you can get a barrel and hit him. But that's not really the challenge of it. The challenge is the platforming between, because these eggs will fall on you as you climb up the ropes. The first round isn't too bad, especially since it gives you a DK barrel over there on the side. But the second round is kind of scary. But you gotta just... You can kill the ghost neckies, but it's better just to bounce on them or avoid them, I found. But honestly, this was a really clean fight on my part. Meanwhile, DKC3's in another auto-scroller of climbing a rope. But yeah, these eggs just get crazy on the boss fight. Miserable time. But now we just have to dodge a bunch of these. And what we're hoping is that the barrel doesn't spawn in the middle, which it didn't, which is good. We would have liked it to have spawned underneath where the ghost boss is. But we switched to Diddy just because it was on the opposite side, and Diddy is really good at hitting things from the side. So we did that very cleanly, and now we watch the end of DKC1. Where we're also killing a bird. Who would have guessed? DKC2 is in a boring part right now. It just entered World 6, and this first stage of World 6 is kind of a joke, so... It's a very messy World 6 first stage. It's like, oh, here's some ice caverns, but it doesn't really fit into anything, and you're a fish the entire time. Oh, both games are a fish the entire time while we battle K-Roll. Nice. So K-Roll is mostly easy in DKC1. Mostly. I don't love the cannonballs, but we'll see how we do. I think we do take one hit somewhere. And it's probably to the cannonballs, which are about to start right now. Yeah. Like I don't know why the cannonballs throw me off so much, but they do. Like, I just never feel comfortable going through. Because I'm worried I get hit by the ricochet, right? Because it bounces. I don't know. It's terrifying. Especially when you're trying to do this Deathless. You're like, one screw up and I'm done for. Come on, dodge it. I did not dodge it. And the fact that I got hit on the first round of it means I have to dodge it 2 more times. Which is just not fun. Alright. Yay, look at that, we beat it. Just kidding. That's the fake ending. We got some fake credits. Oh, we got one of the musics in the top right. I don't know how the bottom right actually just killed both of those clams, but yeah, whatever. The leaping, luckily the final stages of K. Rool are pretty easy. As long as you know the pattern, it's like whatever. The super tiny jumps at the very last one can be a little tricky, but like these little guys. But now DKC 1's done. And it took almost an hour and 2 minutes. But like I said, it wasn't too bad. We can get rid of it from the screen. Just let DKC 2 and 3 have their time in the sun. Windy Well here on the left is a scary stage. The right is just an animal antics type stage where we use all of the animals throughout the stage to get to the end. It is not particularly hard after you get past the bird section, and even then it's really not that challenging. Whereas timing your wind movements is actually a little difficult. Like, you need good timing with the cycle of the bee and the cycle of the wind. Here we just don't jump and we don't have to deal with wind currents, and it's great. Actually amazing. But we have to decide if you want to... You can speed up and slow down a little bit, but that's about it. Whee. But we just gotta dodge all the bees. And since you're free falling, you don't get to control Dixie's hair either, which is usually like a safety feature, and because of the level mechanics, it isn't. In fact, most of World 6 just doesn't care about Dixie's hair. They find ways to remove your safeties, and we don't even have Dixie anymore. Like, the last stage, you were the fish the entire time. This stage, you're free falling in the wind. Meanwhile, we're at the end of the DKC 3 stage, I believe. Like I said, the bird was the only thing of any consequence. We're just very careful, and we're at the end of the DKC 2 stage, too. This stage isn't as easy in 3 as the other rope stage that I said I liked. I think we damage boost. Meanwhile, DKC 2 is in an auto-scroller. This was actually where my PB was before beating the game. I died at the very end of the stupid castle. It was dumb. We use Rambi because Rambi is safe. Meanwhile here, do we damage boost in 3? Do we jump into the B? We dodge the B. Let's go. In practices, I would end up hitting that B back there, and it would send me like... I'd skip, what, 10% of the level over here? So... That red bee was too close for comfort to that rope. Alright, there's the DK barrel. Something to note about DKC3 over here is they hate the idea of giving you a DK barrel before the midpoint barrel. After the midpoint barrel, they'll give you plenty of DK barrels to get your buddy back. But before, good luck. Just a thing I noticed. Alright. Nothing exciting is happening in 2. We're just a rhino. We do not want that bird at all. That bird transforms to a bonus if you get it to the end of the stage, but we can skip like a small part of the end and just fly to the finish. Right there. Clean. Now we're on to the boss. The boss is kind of scary. It is a clam that you have to fight as a fish. The first phase, you have to ricochet these clams off the side of the arena and try to hit the defensive clams that are blocking your shots. Good times. I think DKC3 is going to finish a boss and a stage before 2 gets done with this. Second phase, you have these little rocket barnacle things. I don't know what they are. They're rocket shells. And you have to aim them at the defensive shells. And it's kind of annoying, but also not super dangerous. And I'm doing it very slowly because I'm getting them to aim too early or too late. I don't know. And then you gotta watch it because there's the one that fires off and will hit you if you try to go for the hit on the boss before you deal with it. And I'm sure there's ways to dodge it, but I don't know what they are. And then this is just like pattern recognition. It's like he does 4, he does 5, he does 6, I think is how it works. You dodge them and then go up. But it is scary. I was surprised I did this without losing a guy yet. Because like I said, I would usually lose a guy to those rocket shell guys. Oh my goodness, Castle Crush is still going on. And that's boss. Nicely done. Now we get flushed out the toilet. Go to the final world for number 3. This is where I died, by the way, on Donkey Kong Country 2. Right there. So I was feeling real terrible, but thankfully I had Dixie this time. Last time I had Diddy. I barely dodged one of those hooks there. Okay, so World 7 for DKC3 has 4 interesting levels and 1 mildly easy level. This is one of the more... Actually, no. This one's not bad either. This one is fine. It's just ropes that move on their own. Nothing too special. Castle Crush is still going. Why? I didn't realize it was this miserable. What is it, a 5-minute stage? Jeez. But yeah, the ropes are fine. The stage after this is also fine. So let's talk about DKC2 for a little bit. This stage is fun. You hit the seal and once again it cools down the water. This time it freezes it though, which makes fun timed platforming enemy killing kind of thing. I don't know, it's not too bad. I remember looking at the map for this stage, and that's what really made it easy. This fish portion of the stage doesn't make any sense to me because it just kind of pace kills and ends very quickly. Like it's barely there. I don't know why it exists. But here's where I just kind of make the stage a joke, because once you get through this area onto the next ice platform, you just throw up and you get invincibility and you just run through the stage and it doesn't matter anymore. Like it gets you most of the way through the stage and you get this barrel that if you throw here and you throw up so you can follow it, it just kills all the enemies in your way and you get to the end. DKC3 is dealing with the stage with ghost barrels, but there's no consequence to failing the ghost barrels like 90% of the time. Like, oh, you got in at the wrong time? Well, I guess you got to do it again. And I guess with the timer, it matters a little bit, but for the most part, it's like maybe you take damage because it shoots you into a bee. It's a pretty easy level once you get the timings right, though. Meanwhile, DKC2's in Chain Link Cavern, which is like the prototype for my favorite stage from DKC3 with the horizontal ropes. So it's just all about dodging things while on a rope. But it has a lot more vertical ropes too. It has pick-up paths though. Like right here we go with hooks. Whereas I think the right side is barrels, maybe? I don't remember exactly. It was barrels. We don't want to do barrels. Barrels are never our friend. Oh, here I realize that there's an invincibility over here, so I want to go back and get it so we can just move. Just moving. I believe to the left there was the midpoint barrel, which is why we won't see it for this stage. But we're just gonna keep going with that invincibility. We're taking the right path this time, which is just vertically jumping up the horizontal chains. And it gets you right to where the exit to the next area is, where we just have to dodge these bees on this netting, I guess, in a way. Then we dodge the cannonball shooting down at us. Hey, we're getting somewhere interesting in the right side of the screen as we just dodge these bees. What's really fun here is we wait for those to go up, and if we do a spin, we just don't grab any chains. It's free. Okay, so DKC3 is like the worst stage in the game. The lightning will randomly crash down. If you are Dixie Kong and you hold something above your head, it will hit that instead of hitting you. Oftentimes you will have to go to the left in this stage. Just because otherwise you're dead. Or you're taking damage. If you are in the water when the lightning strikes, you take damage. It's not fun. This is water with barrels, which also means there's a lot of lag. Good times. So yeah. This is the stage that is the most terrifying in DKC3. Meanwhile, on the left side of the stage, this is the most anxiety-inducing stage because you have to just climb while slime follows you up the castle, and you're playing as Ratley, who has incredibly slippery controls. I don't mind Ratley, but I know a lot of people hated this stage. Luckily, I got through it the first time I got here, and I didn't have to worry about failing it. Granted, the same can be said for the lightning stage, so... But yeah, on the left, we're just climbing and hoping we never see the slime. You can see it a little bit in the windows in the back of the stage, but for the most part, we're pretty good. Like I said, I'm pretty good at this stage. If I get hit, it's from these bees. Oop. Yeah, that lag on the right side. Ooh. All right. I think that's the end of the stage. No, it's not. But yeah. Left side, we're just flying before the slime can get to us. Like, we're well above the slime too, so it's not even a concern. Meanwhile, on the right side, there are the coin dozer enemies that are the worst things in the game. They will crash into you and push you off the edge. So you have to get above them so they raise their shield so you can use them as a platform and they don't kill you. Meanwhile, Squawks is about to turn into the spider, I believe, to finish off the stage. Which I believe you can do this end of the stage in like 3 webs, but we did it in 4. It doesn't matter. We're at the end. Coin dozers are still happening. We're just using them as platforms. If you don't land smack dab in the middle of them, they will probably have their shield at an angle, which means they bonk you and they throw you into the abyss. That's probably what makes this such a challenging DKC3 stage, is because there is consequence to you failing. Because a lot of DKC3 is the consequence is taking damage. This one, consequence is death. You will die. Like, you don't have that second hit. Meanwhile, DKC2 is at its final stage before the final boss. I had never seen that guy wake up, and I was terrified. Meanwhile, DKC3 also starting its final stage, which is a miserable stage that flips your left and right controls when you are in the water. It's awful, and you will see me going slowly if you watch that side of the stage. I'm not sorry. It really does mess with me. I am awful at that kind of control flipping. But yeah. DKC2, I think we're about to lose. Oh no, we got lucky and got flung into a bind. Let's go. We have to climb up to the top so the birds don't bother us. The fact that we have 2 guys here makes it pretty easy. You have to do a roll jump here, which is not something it asks you much to do in the game, but... And then we're racing the crow. Actually, I don't know what its name is. Probably not important. We take this shortcut, and then I don't think we ever see him again. Usually I don't see him again. Do I take a hit here and have to go for the DK barrel? That's the big question. I do take a hit, so I know there's a DK barrel over here, and I take it. So maybe we do see him again. Nope. But yeah, it's really just following the bananas. Getting to the end before the blackbird does. And these two will... Uh-oh. I mean, I know this ends up going well on the right side, but it's kind of scary still. That's why I go so slow in that. DKC2 is finishing... Why did I follow those bananas? There was no reason for that. Oh, we got music again. Oh well. Luckily, we got our friend back over on the right side. We're punishing DK over there. Oh, are we done? Nope. I think we're done. We are done with the DKC3 too. Alright, so this boss has like one scary phase to him. He gives you a lot of DK barrels too. Over in 3, he has just a million phases. He's not hard. He just takes forever. First we have the boss from like World 3 back. We have to hit him with a barrel twice. That said, we have a lot of issues on DKC2 side. I think he keeps choosing like the worst one to do, and it's hard for me to get the cannonball in his gun. Thankfully, it's not hard to dodge him, so like we're not in danger. It's just taking longer for time. There, we finally got it after like 3 attempts. Meanwhile, K. Rool is revealing himself on DKC3 as the enemy. Boop. Here's the bouncy stage for DKC2. This one's not too hard to dodge at all. You just gotta know when you need to go under. Of course, I get hit. Now, I'm getting really scared here, I believe, because we just lost Dixie. We'll get her back, but I'm used to using her for this phase. The twirly phase, because her hair twirls are pretty good at getting you over these. Especially the second round of them, where there are 2 of them. So doing this as Diddy is not something I was well practiced in. But like I said, we get Dixie back right now, so I'm jumping, waiting for her to show up. This phase, he shoots an ice shot. We just fly over them and we don't have to worry. He goes very slowly, trying to hit you while you're frozen, so you're panicking. Now he does an invisible thing. And the third phase is the worst phase. Oh, wait, no, that wasn't even the... This is the second phase still. The second phase is a joke. It's like, oh, those fast shooting red things followed by those? Whatever. Those are easy to dodge. This is where it's a challenge. One, it's really hard to dodge those. Like, really hard to just dodge those. I'm surprised I did it. And then he just does these teleports, where he might teleport on top of you, and he can just... He vacuums you in, and if you get too close, he smacks you. And I died so many times in practice to that. But thankfully, he's gone. Now we can focus on DKC3 that's kind of slow. We just have to get a barrel and then hit him into the electricity. It's why I didn't commentate on what was happening over here. It's not exciting. We just have to hit his backpack, I believe. We missed, maybe? I think we missed. So yeah, DKC 2 was done in like 122 something. DKC 3 is not that far behind. It's got about another minute. Me missing there wasn't like great. Could have saved us 15 seconds. This phase, we have to just get to the other switch, but we also can't get on it while the lightning's happening or he's passing under it because we don't want to get hit. It's really boring. That's why this boss fight's so slow. We just have to switch sides and we can't get hit, but you just have to wait. It's a lot of waiting for the right circumstances. I believe Dixie could have flown over things, but I had Kitty out because Kitty's easier at hitting him with the horizontal throws that he's good at. Yeah, here comes the last hit. We just had to wait for the lightning and him going by not to align. And bang. And we're gonna stop the timer a little after we grab that coin. And we're good. Meanwhile, over on the other side, we had Link, Mario, and Yoshi chilling there because we didn't collect almost any DK coins. How did we get 5? Jeez. But no, this was a really fun challenge to do. Like I said, it took me about 5 weeks. Or not 5 weeks, 3 weeks. Almost 3 weeks, but it was a good time. So, thanks for watching. And until next time, see ya.